And thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, Hans.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, John. And thank you, Shabbat Shalom. Jeff Cater is sending me a note, and he is saying it is possible that we are still having streaming issues. So if you are watching the service and you have any issues with getting it or hearing it, we think we've got them all fixed. But if we don't, then you can go to the e-blast that hundreds of you get, and there will be a link to this service on our YouTube page. So if you're having trouble with it here, watch it there. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Jeff also, who came out on this thawed out or thawing out day. I want to thank you guys for helping us today. We know that there are many people still without power or still without heat or struggling with illness or in someone else's home hoping to get to their home, or broken pipes or water with bacteria or whatever it is. The important thing is hopefully you are safe wherever you are, and we pray for your safety and all of those struggling with illness. And later in the service, we will of course offer Misha Baruch and a prayer for healing for all those who are in need of healing at this time. We find ourselves in a very interesting time because the month of Adar, as those of you who joined us last week know, is a time for frivolity in the face of fear and pain. That's a lot easier to do when it's just, a villain who lived in Persia thousands of years ago. But when we find ourselves in the middle of a crisis, we have to ask ourselves, is it appropriate? What's right? But that's the sense of Purim. Purim, it's a little harder to do when you know of others who are suffering or in danger. But that is what Purim was intended as, a holiday from our ancestors in the most challenging times to say, at one holiday during the year, we move from the just pure praise God, yes, there is a plan, to maybe there is no plan. Purim is the person in the back of the synagogue saying, nonsense, there is no order. And I think it's part of the power of Judaism that we give not only a day to that every year, but we give a month every year to that, to say it's Adar, be happy, rejoice in what you have, even as we know the world is unknown. So in the spirit of that, I just have to say, it's a miracle. This year, it's right. This. Look how bright it is at 6:15. We prayed to the Lord to bring sun and heat all night long to thaw the community of Texas, Fort Worth, and it happened. No, actually, it's a little earlier in the day. I'd like to say that's a miracle and take a collection up, but no, this is not the middle of the day. This is the middle of the day. It's not 6:15. We wanted to get here a little earlier to try to resolve some of the technical issues, to try to just make sure in case the roads froze again to get this done right. So it is mid-afternoon, but there is a custom that you can begin Shabbat several days earlier if you want. So we're going to light candles at the end of the service to welcome your Shabbat and ours. And we want to make sure to get this service to you. Many of you use Zoom, but we know many of you that's not your thing. You just want to go to the website or go to the YouTube. So we wanted to provide this service, this Shabbat, to as many of you as possible. So on that note, on this time of the need for safety and warmth on this challenging week, we decided to name this year Purim 2021 because no one feels like celebrating.
Right.
But we're still going to. As you know, we've got our Purim Wheel of Fun. I'm going to just move it here. And we're going to spin our Purim Wheel of Fun. And we're not necessarily going to do all these things now. It depends what comes up. We might make a note for a little later in the service. But I wanted you to be aware, for those of you who didn't watch last week, as part of our celebration of the month of Adar leading up to Purim, which will be celebrated here next Friday night, also all week. So if you didn't check the e-blast, check it again. We've got a comedian program with comedians tomorrow night at 8:30. You're all welcome. We've got a program, a text study of the meaning of Purim Wednesday night. We've got an art project Thursday from different groups around the country. We're going to join Beth-El for their spiel Thursday night, as well as a chance for a nightcap, as well as our Purim Friday. So it's a lot to keep track of. Check the e-blast. Join us for a laugh. But now, as part of our counting down to Purim, we have the Purim Wheel of Fun. And so each week, we don't know what we're going to do. Our choices this week are Jewish space laser. Play it, Hans. Play it for old time's sake. John, sing, please. Just be quiet, Rabbi. Just sing. We've got Where's My Water? Where's My Heat? That's a special entry for this week. We've got, for Jeff's sake, Enough with the Wheel. Jeff Kaser, our really devoted past president who has continued to come, the only president who continues to come, well, Mark Sloter as well, on a regular basis after his presidency to bring this service to you. And if Jeff was in here, he'd say, for my sake, just move on with the service. So that is on the wheel, Jeff. Jews eat that. Torah, don't beat it, read it. Little reference to the 80s. If we get that, we will read from the Torah. And then we've got, I think that's it. And then John's great idea, of course. So a little different than last week, some repetition. We're going to spin this 3 times to see what we've got for later in the service. And today it's Play It, Hans, for old time's sake. That's one.
Oh, good.
Wonderful. Want to see what he's got in store for us? If I had a trench coat and a cigarette, I could really sell that line better. We've got John's great ideas. Chew. There we go.
Jewish space lasers. Jewish space lasers. Jewish space lasers.
Jews eat that.
All right.
There we go. So I'm going to put the wheel right here so you can gaze at it. A little later, during the time of our service, when a sermon would come, we'll hear from 2 of those, but perhaps we'll transition from this crazy time with a little music. So, excellent. Hans, for old time's sake, whatever you've got for us to get us in the mood. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so from there, we'll move into Shabbat with songs of Kabbalah Shabbat.
Ma Yafeh Hayom.
Ma Yafeh Hayom.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. One more time. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. May these moments of the setting sun, may these moments of Shabbat worship, may the coming of this time of peace bring warmth and safety, health and strength. May our time together help all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May our time together help us to be stronger. May our time together help us to enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Help us to draw together on this Shabbat as we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish, the transition to the Baruch, which if you're following in your prayer books, which you can find again on that link, is on page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם לעולם ימיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קודשה בריחו, לעלמין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מעלמה, ויאמרו אמן.
We turn to the Baruch Hu as we face the ark.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
O God, you are as near to us as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv haravim. Blessed are you, O God, who brings on the evening to all.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח ברכך ונזמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומן ולילה. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
We continue on page 155. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. In a world torn by violence and pain, darkness and cold, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say there is one God in heaven and earth. We declare God's glory as we stand at the edge of the shore of freedom.
Mi kamocha pailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar pakodesh, norata yilot osefele, norata yilot osefele, malachutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam, ifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli, anu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, ogolo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. And then it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. A prayer for Shabbat.
Yismechu.
Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'korei onek Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'korei onek Shabbat. Mekarshe Shevi Shabbat, Kulam Yisba'u, Vayitangu mitu v'chashabat. Yitzrachu v'malechutecha, Shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'korei onek Shabbat. Uvashbi ratzita bo v'kidash to Shabbat. Chemnad yamim oto karat Shabbat. Yismachu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'korei onek Shabbat. Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismachu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, v'korei onek Shabbat.
As we prepare for tefillah, for the center of our service, we take a moment for gratitude. Many of us learned this week that those things we expect are so essential in grounding us. For any of you who lost heat this week or water, had to go to a friend's, you might have found it was so much harder to focus, even than it was during some of these COVID weeks, just to finish a thought. You just wanted to huddle and hope for something warmer. And so if you are now in we hope, a warm, a safe place, a place with energy. When we first walked in, we commented, I was a little chilly in here, and Hans said, if I can't see my breath, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So it was a little chilly because of these wonderful windows and the cold. But so we're just grateful. We're grateful for water. We're grateful for heat. We're grateful for a roof. So take a moment wherever you are. And before you move on to the next thing that's bugging us, just take a moment to think about how easy it is to just be in this moment. Something we could not do when we were cold. Something we couldn't do when we didn't have water. Just to say, just to shut everything else out and just to be. Just to be in this moment, to be grateful and to say, thank you for getting me through this time. Thank you for me getting to this moment of challenge. May my heart be open, more open to others, more open to giving, more open to helping those who are still in need. Oh God, open our lips, open our hearts, that we can declare your praise.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya-la-la-la-la, 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 ya-la-la-la-la. Adonai sefetav tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise, so I may declare your praise. La 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 la, 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Tzocher Kazdi Avot v'Imahod, ומביא גאולה לעיני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, זומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצביע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום ילוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש, You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
O God, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Baruch atah Adonai, hambarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael utafilatam me'ahavat tekavel utahil ratzon tamid utahil ratzon tamid avodat Israel amecha Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha b'ir anavod she'otecha levadecha b'ir
We offer a prayer for all who are in need of healing here and wherever they may be. We add the names of Oscar Valdez, Isaac Valencia, the parents of Cindy Simon and Fran Kreindler, and the father of Bethany Zimmerman. We add the names of Carl and Jenny Rosenblum and Maureen Reckless and Brinley Elaine Drake. We add the names of Evelyn Siegel and Irv Rubinson, Randy Koonsman, Shauna Morris, Pam Kalpin, Evan Hirsch, Mark Pritchard, Mimi Grossman, Fred Boyd, Rabbi Claudio Kogan, Rabbi Ellen Dreyfus, Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk, and Danielle Knust, Ariella Belikoff, Sherry Goldstein, Kevin Delavan, Karen Delavan, Christopher Long, Robert Bogan, William Westerman, Ann Westerman, Mike Fox, Eddie Sankary, Katrina Joy Rogers, Elliot Blumberg, Maria Schoen, Stacy Lewis, Charlotte Fawis, Bob Schmitz, Jeffrey Mark, Robert Diamond, and Dee Steer.
Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
And so the wheel chose, destiny chose, and so I'd like to share with you today 3 entries from I Can't Believe Jews Eat That. Number 1 is, and these are things that Jews I know eat, so is schmaltz, okay? Now schmaltz is where you take rendered chicken or goose fat, John's savored schmaltz, Hans may not be so sure about this, and you saute it, this fat, and you collect the liquid, and then you add onions to it. So again, we're talking about chicken or goose fat. That's a rendered chicken or goose fat. And then once it's all ready, you add onion, you tighten it up, and you put it on a piece of toast, and you eat it. You just eat that chicken fat. So there we go. And John is one of those who eats schmaltz. So there you go. Now,
almost as good as crispy chicken skin.
There
Almost.
you go. Gribbinus. So you take the remaining skin,
That's right.
this dried remaining skin, you just chomp on that.
Yeah.
And it's a taste sensation. So that is, Jews can't eat that. Another thing Jews can't eat, and in fact I love it, is Kishka. Now it turns out Kishka is not to be confused with Kishka. Kishka is a Polish dish that is made with sausage and fresh pig's blood. So there is Kishka and Kishka. We can see their connections, but they diverge there. Kishka is stuffed derma. Now you might ask, what is derma? Derma is intestine. So you took the Jewish version of stuffing. It's actually quite delicious.
You said intestines?
Intestines.
Oh, okay. Like
Yes.
sausage.
Not our intestines.
Well,
You don't want them to get out. Like, cow intestines.
Casing, right?
So that's the casing. You've cleaned out the inside. Just going to clarify that for Hans. Okay? And you've made a mixture that might have matzah meal, carrot, schmaltz, chicken fat, spices, gravy. All those things are mixed together like a Jewish version of stuffing. And then you want to serve it hard, so you stuff it in the casing, and then you bake it. Now, in fairness, and there were people who ate it. I didn't ever actually eat the covering on the outside, but it's amazing in cholent. It is amazing in... It is amazing with gravy. It's amazing with turkey, with other dishes. In fairness, in recent years, the casing has been replaced with plastic. So if you do get Kishka in a deli in New York now, there's a very real chance that it is in a plastic casing, which means it's not actually stuffed intestine anymore, but it's still delicious. I mean, I love this stuff. When I was in college, my roommate and I would go to Reuben's Kosher Deli and get Kishka once a week. Maybe that's more than you wanted to know about how I lived wildly in college. But Kishka is wonderful. You can still find frozen Kishka in the Tom Thumb right here on Hewlin in the kosher section. It's probably still there this week, and you can bake it. But know that if you're eating in a deli and you get Kishka, you want to make sure, if you really are someone who likes intestine, I'm not, but if you are, make sure you've checked that it's not plastic, because that wouldn't be the Purim joke that we got you to eat a piece of plastic. So it's rarely intestine anymore in America. So that's Kishka. So we've got Kishka, we've got schmaltz, we've got gribbinus. On that note, John, what song have you got for us today?
For a song for us. I thought it was my big thought, but I'm going to have a song instead. We'll have both. So my big thought for this, for today is, if we could all focus our Jewish space lasers on DFW, we'd be out of this mess lickety-split.
That's a great, thank you, yes.
Yes, I mean, so if you could just talk to everybody you know who has the space lasers.
If you have them,
if you do have one,
don't
please.
hold out on us.
Don't hold out. So,
your cover's been blown, so you might as well heat up the area.
Exactly. But, yes, we have adapted a little song in the Purim nature. We have taken a song, as we normally do, and have changed the lyrics. So I'll start with some lyrics that you might know, and then we will put in our snowpocalypse lyrics. So, around a special time for us, we sing a song called Dayenu. And so it means it would be enough, and we've certainly had enough. So if you'll join me on the first verse. Ilu hotzi anu mi Mitzrayim, hotzi anu mi Mitzrayim dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. God has brought us ice and snow, now it's time for them to go. Snow and ice, it was nice. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Dayenu with this, right? It's enough.
No COVID, no riots, no Jewish space lasers, no frozen pipes, no clean water, heat, matzah and hamantash, and it would have been enough.
It would have been enough. All of it.
All of it.
It was enough.
Dayenu, thank you so much, so much. Wonderful. So we turn to a time when we have heat and all those wonderful things. Right. Whatever your current vision of a messianic time is, I think some of us are just looking for heat and warmth and safety and water. We turn to page 586. We face the ark as we join together in Utlenu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת הילולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כאם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו
We turn to time of memory. We ask God to watch over all those who are grieving, bring them strength in time, and to all those who remember memories of times past, memories of joy and light, of inspiration. As we note the passing in this 30-day period of mourning of Shloshim, of Barry Kalpin, Otha Grisham, Dr. Bernard Rausch. And we mention Jimmy Allen, father of Christine Levy, who will be laid to rest this weekend. We mention his name as well prior to this time of Shloshim. And we mention the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of their deaths, of those who passed away last week and this week. And we mention Helen Ginsberg Archenhold, Ellen Silver Bauscher, Madeline Browd, Mary Chanowski, Benjamin Cooper Smith, Mark D. Feinkopf, Barbara Bodie Fried, Selma Friedman, Max Gilbert, Ray Marks Gilbert, Danny Glazer, Maria Gluck, Jack Greenman, and Herbert Hersfeld, Weinfield Clark, Aaron Cooperman, Leo S. Letterman, Harriet Lurie, Albert Mayer, Israel Margolis, Jack Newlander, Jimmy Owen, Morton Plotsky, Marion Doris Pruitt, Barbara Rosenthal, Faye Sarfati, Henry Schlinger, Scott Sherman, Ernest C. Stanley, Lucille Walderman, Alex Wolf, Corinne Steinbaum, Max Birnbaum, Beverly Blitzer, Walter John Bressett Jr., Ruth Brody, Frida Crystal, Harold Freed, Leo Leopold Gernsbacher, Burton Gilbert, Ida Goldgraber, Robert Greenberg, David Gross Jr., Audrey Wesser Hartwell, Erwin P. Hoffman, Lauren Hoffman, Max L. Honigfeld, Helen Kanzer, Max Kaplan, Aldert Kulikoff, Dorothy Lipschitz, Charlotte Ray Mann, Helene Sonia Nelson Dollinger, David Pachter, Sherman S. Resnick, Rose H. Rosen, Abe M. Rosenstein, Harry Rubin, Lil Sack, Ray Schneeweiss, Rosalie Schwartz, Sarah Levy, Sean Bloom, Tikva Sheena, Ray Schiffman, Richard U. Simon Sr., Barry Torrig, Thomas Taylor, Emily Will. And we turn to 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye chon v'yomei chon, v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalal v'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam l'omei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitala shmeid kudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram b'yamal v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Hosei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May God bring blessing and strength to all who remember. And let us say, Amen. We light candles and Kiddush and Motzi and then join in our closing song. May this be a time of light. You can find those prayers if you're following along on 120, 121, and 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And if you have yet to have a sweet taste of Shabbat, let us join together in the blessing of the wine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav ratzavanu v'shabbat kosho be'ahava uvratzon hinkilanu zikaron la'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila la'michra'e kodesh zecher letzion mitzrayim ki banu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta min kol amim v'shabbat koshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinkaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
I am.
And our closing song.
Right before we do, just a word. Nope, closing song. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat evening. The Torah portion that many Jews read from this week is Truma. We're not. Those are the rules. The wheel didn't spin it. I can actually think of at least 2 or 3 Jews who are disappointed. But it is Truma, and it's about the building of the tabernacle. And what makes the building of the tabernacle so unique is that God commands the Jews to give gold, silver, whatever they have, as their heart so moves them. The Truma was that one building, the tabernacle, the place of worship in the desert, where the commandments would be kept, is that one place that was truly built out of a labor of complete love. And so our prayer as we warm up is that our hearts will remain warm, to love one another, to look for those who are needy around us, and to turn to our neighbor with fullness of heart as our hearts move us, with Truma, with the best offerings of our hearts. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Our closing song is Light These Lights, or Oh Hear My Prayer by Debbie Friedman. And I bet a lot of us prayed something similar over this past week as we were cold and were lighting candles and such. So please join me if you know the words.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and warmth and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see our way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.